Okay. Okay. All right, so we're going.
Welcome back to
The
Auto Tune Podcast.
I'm not keeping up with you. I'm fucking this up.
I can't stop auto
Can't
tuning.
stop, won't stop.
Thinky Thoughts.
We have to redo the whole intro now. Just auto-tune. Fuck the breakdown. Oh shit! Is it still going? Are we good? Normal? Are we normal now?
we're back to
we're
normal.
We're normal men again. Great.
We're normal. Do you want a little more auto tune?
We're good for now. Let's because
Okay.
you know what it is. You know, I've noticed. I also I got like I got like this. You haven't been playing Call of Duty with us in a minute.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Every time
how
feels like
fucking dare you. No, I'm kidding. But I got this. I got this app that works with my Stream Deck. It's for the Stream Deck, and it works in Discord. And essentially, like your mic goes into the program, and then that program acts as a mic, so you can add like voice effects over your microphone
Okay.
and stuff, and
That's tight.
and you can add like sound effects and shit. But it was mad because I would put on like a hardcore like auto tune one, like what is not vote coder or vote. You know what I'm trying to say? It makes you sound like a Daft Punk robot.
Yeah, vocoder.
Vocoder. That was right.
Yeah.
And I would leave it on, but I can't hear that I sound different. Only everyone else can hear that I sound different. I don't hear what my voice now sounds like. So I would forget that it was on, and we'd be in the middle of a firefight, and I'd be like, yo, he's over there. And I would just sound like a robot. Like I was singing everything that I was like yelling out, that I was just yelling out call outs and shit.
Like, oh, he's over there.
Yo, he threw a grenade. That's exactly what would happen.
One down, one down. I need help. Yeah, I need help.
Dude,
It's lit.
One down, I need help. That's the ultimate. Please turn this off. One down, I need help. It sounds like the ultimate hook. I'm so about it.
Well, it's like we could do a Call of Duty song. Have you heard Chug Jug With You?
Oh, my man. I live on TikTok. I love that song. I vibe every
Rachel
time.
got me into that hard. It's like I didn't want to like it as much as I did. It's so good.
We're about to get down. Get down. Dude, I love him.
That kid's blow. I haven't seen it since on SoundCloud, but we were looking at it like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago probably.
That's around
when it like was starting to really catch on, and I remember like one day it was like 400,000 on SoundCloud, and then the next day it was like 500, and it's probably up to at least a million now.
The sound on TikTok is in like the millions.
You think Kanye gave him a little recognition, or he's probably mad?
No, I bet Kanye's like, I want my money, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
right. That's what I was thinking.
Straight
it's like
up. Kanye's gonna beat up a child.
Little, like 12-year-old kid doesn't get sued for making a hit.
Imagine Kanye just beating the shit out of this kid, and the kid's just like, I'm down, revive me, I'm down. Kanye's cracking me, he's cracked.
Oh no, my friend just got down.
Stop it right, don't you fucking dare.
I revived him, now we're heading southbound.
Get out, podcast is over.
It's
Get out.
such a good,
You're done. I need to mute
such
my
a
phone.
good song.
Dude, that was the other thing too.
For no reason.
I love.
What's the line where it's like, just wipe down Tomato Town?
It's such a vibe, and the reason why I love it so much is because it's one of those memes now. I think it's because the younger generation is just nicer than ours. But it's just the reason why it's a meme now is because people are just like, I love that kid. I just want to give him a kiss on the forehead.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
right.
Good for that kid.
That's the part of the internet that's like, that you still have faith in, you know?
Yeah, because everyone chills the fuck
Because then the
out.
other half of TikTok's trying to cancel Eminem, and you're like,
I love when I saw that. I saw our entire generation just be like, no. No. No.
I saw this one that was like y'all are choosing that song. Have you heard Kim? Have you heard have you heard anything else off Slim Shady?
The things they're choosing to cancel him for. They're like,
it's
really?
the Rihanna song.
Which one? Because honestly, I just know that they're trying to cancel Eminem. I don't know the details of it.
It's off of that line, as far as I know. Like, I didn't do much research.
One line.
Into it,
I fucking hate it.
I'm pretty sure it's that song with Rihanna where at the end of the song he goes, if she ever tries to leave again, I'm going to tie her to the bed and set the house on fire. I'm pretty sure that's the line.
That's one of those things that's so overtly violent that, like, you think he means that? Like,
There's like
welcome to the Old Man Podcast where we talk about how we hate woke culture.
Yeah, like, have you heard Stan or Kim
anything?
or really any other Eminem
real
song
Slim Shady?
from the Slim Shady LP?
That he was wild back then.
Yeah,
that was like what did he do? Was he like a cokehead?
I don't know.
He was on a bunch
Pills.
of shit. Pills. That point is that was drugged out Eminem. That was the wild Eminem.
Yeah.
It's funny too. My mom.
It's just funny that there's like two polar opposites of like the TikTok generation of like there's the Fortnite kid,
and then canceling Eminem for that. Yeah, I know. It's a weird
cancel
duality.
culture is ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Dude.
You know what I started to think though? I think it's starting to like peter out. Not peter out, but it's getting to a point where everyone's like, okay, that's like the people that were ready to cancel anybody are like, that's what you're canceling someone for.
Yeah,
like the pendulum's starting to swing back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because at first it was a lot of like, okay, like hear them out or for whatever reason, like a very understanding, whatever. Yeah. But then, now it's definitely like, wait, no.
Yeah,
like,
I forgot who said it.
As far as
I forgot who fucking said it, but it was someone was like, okay, I think it might have been like Louis C.K. or somebody, but they're like, okay, well, in the beginning, with like the Harvey Weinstein era, they're like, okay, you got those pieces of shit, but it seems like you ran out of people. Like you got them all. But instead of just being like, okay, cool, we got him, you're just like, now the fuck are we getting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kept like, going.
Ellen? Are you kidding me?
Because she was cranky?
That I kind of like, I like
Ellen?
believe, like I could see it, like, but it's like, you're going to ruin her career.
Again,
I don't know.
I'm not sitting here making excuses, nor am I going to pretend like I knew what it was like to work on that show or like any details here. But it's one of those things where like the things... It sounded like they like people were like Steve Harvey's a good example, because I forgot who I heard talk about this, but they were like talking about how they work with Steve Harvey, and they're like they told him when they go into like, hey, don't fucking Tom Segura was talking about this. He was just like, don't fucking go in there and just start being like, yo, what the fuck's up, Steve? Let's fucking hang out and all this other shit. He's literally like he has like 4 shows.
Right.
He works 7 days a week. And it's not one of those things where they tell you like, don't fucking go up and talk to him. It's not like he's a fucking diva. It's like he has 0 time. The man's got 0 time right now.
Right.
He's just going on to fucking work, and he has I imagine, being, again, we're still talking about Steve Harvey or like Ellen, when you go on that show, that's taking a lot from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a lot to put on that fucking character and go out there and fucking smile in front of all those fucking people. You know what I mean? This might be because me and you work in like the entertainment business ish.
Yeah.
But like, I somewhat get it. I'm not here making excuses for people.
It's the same thing I've heard like from. You always hear stories about like, oh, I met blank and they were
an
a
asshole.
jerk. Yeah, and it's like, well, did you catch them at a bad time? Like, did you?
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like I've talked about it before with the Diplo situation. Like Jake and I met Diplo one night. Best experience in the world. Like super nice. Like had a dope.
It's probably a good night for him.
Conversation. Like, but the thing was, he just got off stage. He played a set.
He was done. He was done working. He was done working.
I don't know. It's just
you caught him in relaxed mode.
Whereas another friend of mine met him because it was a mad decent block party, and
I missed those.
Met him at the next one like a week later or whatever, and had a horrible experience. Like. Said he was like short with him. It's like, well, was he on the way to do something? Like it could be anything. Like that's just an example of like.
But he's he's a perfect example of that because like you look at Diplo. Say what you want about him and he as a person, you can't deny that he's one of the busiest men in music.
Yeah,
he has 1,000 jobs.
Yeah,
he's doing 1,000 things. You know what I mean? Like
that's just an example though of like someone I met and had a good experience, and then someone else met and had a bad one. It's just, dude, it's like that. We were just talking about Eminem and Stan, like in the song Stan, where the kid's talking about like meeting Eminem at a show and he like didn't give him the time of day. And like
it was such
Eminem
an important
acknowledges it later in the song. It was like, I don't remember what he says, but it's like something along the lines of like, oh, I didn't see you. I'm sorry. Like whatever it was. Like people like make their own assessment of a person based off of like an interaction where those people. So
you know what it is? You got to realize it. Like if let's say Eminem, right? You're meeting Eminem. You're like, holy shit, I'm meeting Eminem. You're the 4,000th person he's seen that hour.
Right.
You gotta. He's at the end of the day, he's a human being. You know what I mean? Just give him I don't fucking know.
It's tough. That's the thing.
I think that's the closest I sound to an old man.
Yeah, we definitely sound like some old heads. Like,
fuck it, I don't give a shit. It's my opinion.
But I don't know. Cancel culture is weird because it's like some stuff is validated for sure. Like,
yeah, it makes sense. A lot of people needed to get taken down
on the Ellen show that were complaining about the experience. Like, granted, like I don't know, like it could have been.
That's what I was trying to say in the beginning. Like,
but
I'm an outside observer at this point. Ellen could have really just been a fucking monster.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know. Yeah, Ellen could have just been walking around like a Nazi.
Never met her.
Who knows?
But that's the thing is, then the thing about the canceling is like somebody could have a perfectly validated experience of like a negative interaction, whatever. But then when it becomes an internet thing, then it's all
the
these
public opinion.
Yeah, it's all these third party opinions of like personal interactions and experiences.
Exactly, and it just dog piles.
Yeah,
it's and then it gets lost. Dude. Yeah, and then one person's opinion just jettisons the whole conversation in another way, and it just goes. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? It's fucked up.
Don't cancel everybody.
On a better note, which is something I wanted to bring up. This is I was scrolling through Twitter right before we started recording, and I'm finally seeing. I'm looking at it right now. What appears to be the first genuine festival that's going to happen in 2021.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, dude. It's the Life is Beautiful festival. I forgot, where is it?
I've heard of it for sure.
Yeah, Vegas. It's going to be in Vegas.
Okay. Of course, Vegas is like the first festival.
Of course. Oh, fucking course. They're like, the coronavirus can't survive the heat. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the headliner, it's a fucking insane lineup. Billie Eilish, Green Day, Tame Impala are the 3 headliners.
Jeez.
Yeah, hardcore. Then we got A$AP Rocky, Millennium, Young Thug, Glass Animals, Fisher, fucking everybody, dude. Ludacris. Ludacris, baby. Yeah, dude. Even fucking where is he? Teddy Swims is on here.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. I want to go to Vegas. Let's go to fucking Vegas.
I would go just for him.
Dylan Francis, Tom Oliver, dude. San Holo. Dude, they got fucking everybody.
That's wild. That's a lot of, I like the variation.
I like festivals that do that.
Yeah. Well, that's like, we were talking about Coachella last episode. It's like, it's cool to go to like an electronic festival specifically, especially if you're in that. But like, I could go have so much fun seeing Dylan Francis and then going and seeing Teddy Swims and like,
oh yeah, dude, I kind of want to start going to more festivals like that because it was right before leading up to the coronavirus, not like because of the coronavirus, but I was getting to a point where I was like, okay, I'm only going to festivals that are just electronic shows. You know what I mean? I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
Like it's my favorite genre, but I was also hitting a point. I'm like, I want to go to other shows, and I really had that like epiphany when my girlfriend at the time, she took me to I forgot what it was one of those free concerts in like Central Park that they just like anybody can come and like 80,000 people show up, and I saw Rihanna there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I wasn't like, I'm not like I like Rihanna or whatever, but I wasn't like gonna go out of my way to see Rihanna. I saw it, I was like, oh fuck, Rihanna's sick.
Yeah, right.
Shit, I gotta go fucking see other people. But yeah, no, dude, that's why I want to start going to places like Burning Man and like Coachella and shit like that, and like festival. You know what else? Who did it perfectly? And it was mainly skewed towards electronic music. Is fucking Hardfest, dude. Fuck is that?
Someone's just.
One of our computers is having a problem. We're fine. It sounded like a diss reading. We're good. Don't worry about it. You didn't hear
whatever.
It. But Hardfest is the one that like, dude, they're like the shit at fucking like getting that like. That underground like electronic scene, and then throwing like rappers on top of it, and like metal guy. It's the fuck, dude. Destructo's the fucking man.
Yeah,
he's the. But he's not even a part of them anymore. He's not. No. Or was it Holy Ship? No. Yeah. Didn't he? He left Hard, right? Didn't he?
I don't know.
Then he started. Yeah, because then he started Friendship. I think all this happened with Holy Ship.
Okay.
I can't believe I forgot this story because it was like such a huge thing. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
Who knows? Now there's fucking 3 cruise ships that are just EDM festivals, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not against it. I'm not fucking against it. It's fucking the shit.
What's the one Dimitri started?
Dimitri Unlocked?
Yeah. That one's dope. Yeah, him and his like team.
Was it Friendship?
No. It's the one on the battleship. Jake played it
High Caliber.
Yeah, that one's
High Caliber is the shit. Yeah, no, but I'm talking about ones that are cruising. Yeah, but no, dude, still, the idea of that?
It's sick.
Bro, when Jake showed me where he'd be playing, he was like, yeah, we're playing under the 15-inch guns. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking tight.
It's so cool. Just the whole like marketing and because I remember I was working with Dimitri.
Shout out Dimitri Unlock. You're a great guy.
Yeah, miss you, man. When I was working with him, he was like cooking up that whole idea. I'm pretty sure. Like,
it was still just like in the infancy of the idea.
Yeah,
and, shit.
and like to see what it's like come to now, and like now it's like another.
It's a staple.
You could put it up there with like Lost Lands and all those things.
Oh
where it's
yeah,
like,
for
people
sure.
are like, yo, high caliber. Like, who's going? Like,
yeah. I think that's like,
especially for that scene. Like they definitely
like the bass music scene
hit a market where it's like you could do a festival like bigger as far as having like all kinds of acts and like not just sticking, but like for the underground, like, the mid-range heavy bass music scene. Dude, like that's the first of all the best venue to do it. Like the coolest, crazy. It's just so dope. Like I think that I haven't been yet. Yeah, I would love to go.
Cause like it's I want to know like how that idea came. Cause you know what it probably was. I don't know, but it's definitely one of those things where like someone drove by, I'd be like, imagine we put on a show there, and then somebody was like, I'm gonna fucking do it. Yeah, I'm gonna just fucking go. But no, you brought up a good point, which is like, I think it's starting to happen too. At least with like EDM and like, you know how like it's really starting to break into like like it's always been multiple subgenres of like, you know, dubstep, drum and bass and other shit, but like they're really starting to like separate from each other in like a major way,
right?
You know what I mean? So like you said with like Lost Lands and shit, like Lost Lands was like the first real like dubstep festival. Like it was just hard music. And, sure. Yes, correct. Yeah, because then there was, you know, fucking Rampage and shit and all that stuff. But I can't even talk about the Europeans. They've been on their own vibe for the last like couple decades. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's really crazy to see like how they're really just starting to like separate and like, because it really like the main avenue I'm starting to see it, like granted, like, you know, there's all the subgenres inside of bass music, but it's really bass music and like house music are like just starting to go different directions that they're gonna just be considered two genuinely whole different genres at this point. You know what I mean? I'm not against it. I think it's a good thing. You know what I mean? But it's like one of those things now, like, you know, back in like 2013 we were all bass heads, house heads, trance heads, we were all going to the same festivals.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now, bro, I don't know if you can get a fucking techno head to go to Lost Lands.
I don't know how my microphone's moving, but I can't stop focusing on the fact that this is it's just like shaking back and forth.
Oh, it's just going back?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, we'll be fine. You're okay.
Bug it out over here.
Just holding it. Like, you're like, just don't move. Shit.
Stop. Just looking over and seeing it like, do you see that? It's wiggling.
Oh, you know what it is?
Why it's wiggling?
I know exactly why it's wiggling. Because I'm shaking my leg.
Oh. Yep. Stop shaking.
I'm sorry. I
was like, what is happening?
I drink a Red Bull. I can't help it, dude.
But yeah, no, anyway, yeah, it's really funny because when I got into electronic music, obviously it was like 2012, 2013. Like I liked Skrillex in like the beginning of dubstep, but I was really, really into like Nicky Romero, Martin Garrix, like the big room guys 100%. At the time, because that's what was big. Yeah, and that's what it was like.
That was it was like introduction,
Animals, like blowing up like that time.
Yeah, because that was the only thing that was big. You know, that was exactly. Yeah.
But then I remember like going to those shows and like I don't know. It's funny because it's the same thing for dubstep and house, where it's like you go. Obviously, it's in a whole night of either like boom, 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 or like halftime of that, and like
exactly
dubstep. But I remember every time I would go to a show with multiple like genres, I'd always be leaning towards like trying to find
the angrier stuff.
Yeah, because it was the same thing at Warped Tour, where you go and like they have pop punk, they have a little bit of everything in.
You want that hardcore world, shit, though.
But I would go for like the metal and
the real angry shit,
music.
Correct.
And like
See, but that's why I think that happened, because me and like I'm the same way. I don't think me and you are a rare breed.
Yeah,
I think there's a huge section of people that were always like, I want to find the heavier shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at that point, once like with like Bass Canyon and Lost Lands and shit, which is all just Excision, there was finally like a place where you're like, oh, it's only that.
Right.
And now they're just like, I'm only going to this. You know what I mean? So, you know, but I think that's good. I think
it's definitely good.
It's going to like develop those genres more, you know?
It's good to have and develop, like you're saying, but also I think at the same time, it like maybe helps with like, I hate the animosity of like, I'm into like the stereotypical one is like the rhythm. Like I'm into rhythm, so I hate this, like,
I don't get why that happens.
I don't either. It's been the same thing even back in the day with the hardcore and metal like music, where it's like, oh well, pop punk is lame.
Yeah,
it's like, who cares?
Oh, dude, straight up, like rhythm kids are the punk kids of like bass music.
Yeah.
Where they just hate everything that isn't rhythm. You know what I mean? I don't
Not
get
all of them, but like
a good chunk of them.
For a long time, and it was like Bass Nectar fans were notorious for like being like, this is the best. I know that's a sore subject, but I'm just saying.
No, we can bring it up. Cause believe me, like I like a huge like I went to like I'm a festival kid. I go with like my group. They're like my family, right? Mm-hmm. Huge chunk of them were fucking hardcore Nectar fans, right? And thank God, like they were like open minded that I can bring them to other stuff and shit. But like I was really entrenched in that community. I never understood it. Like I'm like, why? Like it's I get it. You love him. He can be your favorite. He can 100% be your favorite. Why do you have to hate everything else that isn't him?
Right.
It doesn't make a fucking ounce of sense.
It's not going to make it go away.
It's not going to make Bass Nectar better. It's not going to make him like be. It's like this thing where it feels like. It's like just a tribe mentality, which is like, we fucking love Bass Nectar, fuck everything else. I'm like, are you guys in a war? Are you guys fighting each other?
Is anyone opposing you?
Are you guys meeting in between sets to beat the shit out of each other in like fucking Donnybrooks? No, get the fuck out of here. Like,
doesn't matter.
That'd be cool though if they're just huge gang wars.
There's like I don't know, an area of the festival where
there's no music, it's just beating the shit out of people. What's that over there? Oh, that's the murder pit.
Yeah.
Don't mind them. That people go to deal with their shit.
Settle their differences of who's better.
Settle their differences.
I don't know.
If we were thinking about it like that, the Bass Nectar fans would win because they were 1,000% the most organized.
True.
Yeah. But if we're going to be real honest here, if we're talking about like all of music, the Beehive's going to run that bitch.
You and Beyonce, man.
I'm on a kick right now. It happens. I think I already said it in the last episode. Every couple of months, and it's really not just Beyonce. It's that performance, but we're not going to talk about that again. But we also didn't go into that. It's like the Beehive's like a gang, an actual gang. It's nuts. But yeah, they would win. They would win that game.
That's a lot of it. It's so funny because just the lifestyle I live with, like music consumption, like I'm such a fan of so many things.
You're eclectic.
That I've never been like, I don't know how to explain it. Like even my favorite art, like John Bellion, favorite artist in
He's
the
your
entire
favorite?
world. Yeah,
I did not know that. I love him, but how have we never talked about that?
I don't know.
We got to do that.
Never came up, but we
should do that here.
All-time favorite artist. Like just sick. Man's a genius.
Oh, straight up. Have you ever seen him?
Live? No, unfortunately. Never got the opportunity. I know.
We gotta make it happen, Captain.
The thing is, he's not really doing that anymore, as far as I know.
He stopped like he stopped like that project?
Well, he writes for everyone now.
Oh,
He's doing big
honestly
things,
I've seen like a lot of artists go down that route where they're just like, I did my thing, but now they just end up writing for a bunch of other people. It's sad to see, but I've always seen it as, I'm like, that's the way I'd probably prefer my artist that I like to stop, being them, is be like, oh, you're going on to do other stuff. You know what I mean? I would prefer that.
From his end, I get it, because like I've seen a few things where he talks about how it's like he doesn't know if he's going to stick with it. Like it's not like
stick with writing or stick with John, like the project.
Like him as an artist, like kind of thing. Because like he was saying, like it makes him happy and stuff, but it's like what really makes him happy is like writing and like. Not necessarily like I understand that too. Like I've had that like thought too of like you enjoy the artistry of making music, and like I think a lot of artists too, it's a power play of like longevity in the industry where it's like you can have your moment, and I think he absolutely did. Like once he really started blowing up,
it was like 2014 2015 was when he was like at his peak, or was it
of like artistry? Yeah,
that's what I mean. Because that's like when I found
he had written a few songs. I know he did like a Jason Derulo song. He wrote
Derulo.
Monster, Rihanna's song.
He was
friends with the monster.
He wrote that?
Yeah.
What?
He wrote that hook.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he started to just get like some. That's just around the time where he started getting big, and like I think a lot of artists hit that point, and it's like you got to kind of come to the conclusion of like either
you have to make a decision. You're at a crossroads.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. You either keep going and pushing
Yeah.
yourself, and like, do you really love the idea of like always trying to best yourself, or
Because that's what you have to really do as an artist. You know,
Yeah,
you can't
'cause,
stagnate.
like-
You have to constantly be innovating.
right? And then it's also down to like, we've talked about this before, where it's like making your fan base happy, of like, because your fans fall in love with you for whatever they do.
Yeah.
Like All Time Low was like probably one of his biggest like radio hits.
I'm not gonna lie.
The-
That's what I really know him for.
yeah, and that's when it like his peak of like that blew up on the radio.
Yeah.
And like, it's a great song, but like the people that fall in love with that, it's like he's the type of artist that will constantly grow and change. Like his all of his albums consistently, like they're all John Bellion, like, but
They're different, but they're all him.
he's constantly evolving and like growing as an artist. And I
Yeah.
think it's hard to please everybody. And
Oh, yeah.
like, so anyway, back to my point of like, I think longevity, like it's a power move of like, you could be behind the scenes, one, making
Yeah.
money, but also like
Doing what you like.
being John Bellion, and then people want you to write for them based on that sound.
Yeah.
Like he wrote that Bieber tune, that new one or newer one, Holy.
He wrote that too?
yeah.
Dude, I had no idea.
But it's like you listen to those and you're like,
Once I know that,
you
you're
can
like,
hear
oh,
it.
yeah.
Like you can
yeah.
hear the.
Oh, I'm going to listen to it after
um,
this, and I know I'm going to be
Ed
aware
Sheeran's
of it.
another one. Like
Yeah.
obviously that guy writes 1 million songs a year, like
Yeah.
on his own, and can put out albums all the time, and they're great. But like he
Yeah.
also writes. Same with Mike Posner, and like they can write hits, like so as
That's
like
their hit
style, and
factories,
people,
yeah.
and like people can reach out to them for
Yeah.
those
That's like
hits,
kind
Benny
of what like Jay-Z is
Blanco
like. You know,
and-
he just makes hits.
yeah. So anyway, I think like I would love to see him live,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I also think like I don't know, I just respect him so much as a creator
You
and
want
an artist
exactly,
that like
yeah.
I
You
wouldn't-
want him to do what he wants to do.
yeah.
You know what that
but
brings?
yeah, man,
That's it's
favorite
a
artist
good
of all
point, because I
time.
don't think a lot of people like realize it. At least the people like that aren't in the music industry is like, you know, if you're an artist that's a performing artist and you're a songwriter and stuff, that's actually like 3 different jobs that you're doing all at once. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know, like there are people in bands that don't write any of the music that they play.
Right.
They don't write a single fucking lyric. They're just guys who play live.
Fourth member of Green Day.
Correct. We're always gonna bring him back. Exactly. But then there's so many people that all they do is just songwrite. You know, and granted, there are the exceptions, like fucking like Beyonce, who just does it all, and she does her shit by being like this huge thing. But like at the end of the day, you know, he might figure out that like, oh, the job I like doing is just songwriting.
Right.
That's the job of this part that I like the most.
Yeah.
And you know, like touring and performing live isn't for fucking everybody.
Right.
It's just not.
And they
you know
don't
what I mean?
want that. I think he's mentioned like doesn't want to be a Justin Bieber or like a pop star. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't want to be.
He just wants to make music.
Right.
Yeah.
And I could
respect
see
that.
that taking away from. It takes away from the
yeah.
artistry for sure at some
sure.
point. Like
And you know, that's probably a hard decision too, because, you know, he's aware that like, you know, he could probably be making tremendous amounts of more money if he was going towards like making his own music and touring. You know what I mean?
I
Not
don't
saying he's
think
not
so.
making no.
But that's the thing. I don't
Oh, that's
think
true.
so.
You're right with the people he's working with. You're right.
Well, yeah, like when you can work with Justin Bieber and Rihanna and really whoever you want, and you're still making this. Not, I guess at the end of the day, yeah, you're still making the same royalties you would be making
Yeah.
off of writing your own music and putting out, but then you're not dealing with.
Yeah, you're just getting the benefits without any of the like the hassle.
Well, yeah, and you're not dealing with like a 360 deal from a label on your own. Like you're just that's coming out of their end. Like you're just making.
You're just there. You did your part. You're gonna get your compensation. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that like for a lot of people that just makes sense. You know what I mean? Because it's. I think did I talk about this book I was reading? I forgot who recommended. Somebody on I saw somebody on the internet recommend it. It's just a book called. I'm gonna lend it to you. It's called Everything You Need to Know About the Music Industry.
You've told me about it.
Yeah, it's really good. But it's the one Jake fucking stole from me.
Ooh, Jake.
Asshole. But like part of it was talking about like, you know, again, there are exceptions here, but the vast majority of musicians are gonna have like you're like the time period where you're gonna make most of your money is going to be short. You know what I mean? So you need to like maximize that period.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like where you're just taking in that income, and then you just like it's not like saying like you're gonna be bad or anything else, but it's gonna be a point where you're gonna have, like you said, you're gonna have your moment, and then you need to, and that might be his way of like dealing with that. Like he can just, you know, move on into just being a songwriter. That seems like it has way more longevity than being a performing artist. You know what I mean? 100%.
Yeah.
Because
whether or not you can keep touring and all that, your relevance, unless you're one of the few,
exactly,
like, it's not forever.
Exactly, because
like, it's
already like a rare thing to be a successful musician at all, right? It's an even rarer thing to be like a successful musician that's like at the top of their game for like decades,
right?
Like that's unbelievably rare,
right?
You know what I mean? Like even my mom was talking about, she was like, because we were talking about like moments in like music that just like, you know, like live music, because my mom she's the reason I love music and shit. But she was like, yeah, I remember seeing Madonna, and I was like, fuck, you saw Madonna back then? She's like, yeah, I saw coked up Madonna, and I was like, oh, that's a different type of Madonna. She's like, yeah, but then I was thinking about it, I was like, yo, Madonna's still fucking doing like world tours. Like how fucking rare is that? My mom saw like disco, like she's been going for so long that there's different phases of Madonna. She saw like disco Madonna.
Yeah,
you know, like that's crazy to me.
Right.
And I mean, you know what? Because with the way you're talking about it, I'm almost happy that he's fucking dipped out and just started fucking focusing on just songwriting. You know what I mean? I really do use the word fuck to just fill in the gaps of my thoughts.
I just don't even notice anymore.
Neither do I. only like sometimes notice it.
But yeah, I don't know. I think like I definitely don't think he'll be done. Like I wouldn't be surprised if in a year or two we see an album.
Sure.
But
but it'll be on his terms, you know?
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
Which is great to know.
But that's the thing, is all his albums have been on his terms, and they're all him.
And that's hard to do. Right. You know? That's impressive.
And just the way he paved such a lane in whatever you want to call it, like pop music, I guess, is
he did his own thing.
Yeah. Like it's just so good. And I just love the fact that he produces it all too. And it's just really cool. I don't know if you've ever got a chance to watch his like making of videos, but he does a lot. There's a whole from his older albums.
I love shit like that. I like seeing. That's why I love like watching The Cave with like Kenny Beats. I'm like, I like seeing how things are made.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I like seeing how the sausage is made.
So dope, because he goes. I mean, whether it's after the fact of making the song, I never really knew, because like. I don't know, but like it's just so dope. Like you literally hear his thought process of like he'll be going into the studio and be like, okay, I had this like idea last night, I wanted these drums, and he breaks out like the MPC and he starts like playing the beat, and then you hear the horns he'll add to it. It's just so cool to watch somebody on that caliber of like genius
just go for it, because you know what it is, and like it's funny you mentioned that MPC is because that's actually the reason I started listening to that album, was because I saw like the album artwork and he just had an MPC in his hand. This is back when I was like he has an MPC, what? Like, I've never seen anybody like just I was like, I gotta see what this fucking dude's doing, you know what I mean? And that was I
don't know if it's Human, but there's
it's the one that's like really orange and shit behind. The animated one, right?
Oh, you're talking about the album. No, I'm talking about a music video where it's just him in the snow, like rocking out on an MPC.
Really?
Like it's so
I gotta watch that dope. Shit, dude. You're about to. You realize you just sent me down a rabbit hole, right? Like I'm gonna fucking go down there. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, he's just honestly one of my. He is my favorite artist of all time, because it's also another artist I can genuinely say like I'm not much of
like a fanboy.
What? No, I'm not like one of those people that's always like, oh, you listen to John Bellion? Like I've listened to him from like the beginning, like few thousand followers. Like
I know what you
mean. So
mean.
it's like that proud.
I know what you
like,
mean. Yeah, I hate the people who are like, I've been listening to him since then. However, I also like what you're about to say. I have that moment where you're like, I was listening to that guy, and there's a little bit of like pride. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. It's just pride in being like,
you're like, I knew about it before everyone else, dude. I fucking knew that dude.
Before the radio hits, and just like seeing the growth, and it's just you're proud of
dude, I was like that with
knowing that like
who was I like that with? I can't. Shit, this is killing me. Eptic. I knew about Eptic before he was on like Never Say Die and shit.
Right.
And I've always loved Eptic, and now he's like right now in this moment he's starting to like jettison. I'm so excited. I feel so excited to see that shit.
Right. It's just cool to see the growth and but so he absolutely is my favorite artist, and
that's good.
Anyway, keep saying that. I'm just so into it. We can talk about him forever.
Listen, the last episode, I talked way too much about Beyonce. Okay,
that's true.
We're good. Let's just talk about what we like here. All right, that's what people care about. That's why people are watching. They want to see our thinky thoughts.
Yeah.
No, but when we were talking about, well, at least I was talking about Madonna.
Madonna.
Because the reason me and my mom were talking about Madonna, she was like, I have like, it's one of those moments that just like burns into your brain. Like you just music just deeply affects you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, because you said you didn't get, the reason why I asked you if you ever saw John Bellion, because I was like, if he's your favorite artist, he definitely had a moment where he did that to you. But like, is there like a moment where you were like, fuck, like when you're watching like a live performance, you're like, oh shit, this is nuts. You know what I mean? Did you ever have that?
Oh yeah, a ton. Like at a concert I've been to.
Yeah, like is there anyone that like there's a moment that stands out? Is what I'm asking.
So many.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to pinpoint.
I can tell you one.
Like a performance specifically, or like just
a moment, a performance, and whatever. You know what I mean?
Because I've had so many like interesting.
A lot of moments are also just like the moments I have with like my friends next to me and stuff. You know?
Yeah, because I've had a few like where it's just genuinely like.
Just nuts.
One of the craziest, best experience you could have. That's a I have question. One. Yeah, you start off. Let me sit on that.
And it's just the one that just first. It's not like the most like affected I've been, but it's just the one that just first popped into my head. It was at a Mad Decent block party. It was in Coney Island, and it was the one. I think it might have been the exact same one you met Diplo at. It was the one that was in the baseball field.
No, mine, and it's funny. I was gonna. Yeah. The first one I thought of was a Mad Decent experience, but
shout out Diplo, you're affecting us, bro.
It was Porter Robinson but it was in Philly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot Mad. Just because I only ever went to the New York ones, the Mad Decents always seemed like they were just a New York thing for me.
Yeah.
I forget that they were like a traveling act.
Philly's the OG though.
Philly is the OG. But no, so we were. I need to explain exactly how like this was set up. So like I've never seen it before. You know how a lot of times they put the barriers in the middle so that like security and like photographers can just like get good shots from like inside the middle of the crowd. Yeah. But you know, usually it's either connected to the back and it's going just straight forward through, right? Or it's like a line. It's somewhat connected to either the stage or like the sound booth in the back. Mm-hmm. It was just two rails that weren't cut off at the end, and it was just in the middle of the crowd, right? So it was just like an island of that, not connected to anything else. And like slowly throughout the night, because they had like entrances and stuff, bro, they put like 4 security guards in there, and it was like thousands of riled up kids, right? Slowly, we kept pushing in. And they kept being like, guys, gotta get out. We're like, okay. Then some song would pop off and we'd start pushing in. And eventually it got to this point where like, we were all like, oh, they're overwhelmed. And somebody, I don't know who said what, but somebody just said something and we all just ran into it. And we just bum rushed that entire enclosure. So, I remember this happened because it was right at the peak of Jack U. Like Skrillex and Diplo playing together. Yeah. It was the first time I ever got to see them. And it was right after that happened, because you know how like
that's when I met him was after a Jack U set. It was the same year. It must have been the same.
It had to be you probably just went to the show after.
Yeah.
But you know how like on the inside of the barriers they have like the steps so that security can step up and like look over the crowd.
Yeah.
So we were on those. Like me and my friends, we just ran up, we grabbed one of those, and we just stood up. So I was like, I'm now above everybody, right? And I can just see everything. I'm in the perfect line of view to see this, right? And it was, I was standing there, and I always have like these moments every single time because I try and be like mindful a lot, where I'll just stop like dancing, I'll just like look around. I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah,
this is chaos. This is chaos what we're in right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I love just like looking around and I'm just seeing a bunch of like one guy playing some stuff on the music and just seeing a bunch of people lose their minds, right?
Yeah.
But there was this one distinctive moment where they were playing. Diplo was playing "Express Yourself," you know,
oh yeah,
and then they instantly and perfectly dropped it into Bangarang. I have never seen a crowd of people yell so. Like the Mad Decent block party had a great sound system. It was loud. I barely heard Bangarang because of how much people were just like, ah! just like losing their fucking minds because people fucking lost it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, people fucking lost it, and it just went crazy. And at that moment, like, I wanted to just like headbang so fucking hard, but all I could do was just be like, holy shit. Like I couldn't even like, I didn't care about the song for that like 2 seconds.
Right.
I was just in awe of what I was seeing. It was one of my favorite moments I've ever experienced in music.
That's amazing.
It's so fucking good. It was so good.
That's it's funny you mentioned Jack U and stuff. I was just watching yesterday, working on some art. Or I watched a little bit, but then I had it in the background. The Full Flex Jack U set from Canada.
Oh,
dude, they were in. It's just the perfect combo of like me, because they would do that with a lot of songs, like Express Yourself into Bangarang, and like
they would put their stuff together.
Yeah, like I can't think of another off the top, but
I can. There was a point. I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt your story. Go ahead. I'll come back to it.
Oh, you're good. No, I was just saying, like, it was just such a dope set, and they have like so much music combined that like obviously they're playing like whatever in between, but like going into each other's songs, like it was just perfect. So cool.
Dude,
like
now we're on a Jack U trip. I'm good because you know what else I remember too? They were so good at just mashing up old songs, and this was definitely like Diplo because he was the fucking man at fucking like just mixing together like old hip hop songs.
Yeah,
it was. I think it was like it was one of the real early. It might have been like the first one Jack U shows. It was at Ultra. And it was during the day, like it was so early. It was during the day.
Yeah,
it was really early during the day. And I remember they played. I gotta find it. There's absolutely no way we can play it because we'll get copyrighted. But it was like they mashed together like 2 Missy Elliott songs, a Funkmaster Flex song, a DJ Cool song in like 30 seconds, and like it was like one of those things where the part of me I was like, "Fuck!" It was just like hitting me. And then the next year,
you went to that?
No, I was watching the live stream. This is back when I like religiously watched those live streams.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say that's the year before I went to Ultra, for the first time. And
what year did you go? 2015.
2015.
That makes sense because then this was 2014, which was the year after I went, which was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, and then but what I remember is the following year, or it was maybe might have been 2 years after. Then they closed out Ultra, and remember that's when like they brought out Justin Bieber.
That's the one I saw.
You were there?
So
where they brought out Diddy?
I can go into. I'm pretty sure. Okay,
I'm taking my hat off for this
because I was just talking about this set. I don't want to be wrong now because I mix up the years. That I thought that was 2015.
I'll look up the year.
Because Justin Bieber came out, but here's the thing. So this is the story I was thinking I would talk about from one of my experiences. It was the first.
Oh yeah, it was 2015.
Okay, so that was the one.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna mute this just so that we don't get in trouble. But yeah, continue.
So
keep talking.
This I'm pretty sure, like I said, the first year Jake and I went down, and then Maddie met us down there. We drove down to Miami for Miami Music Week, like no plan at all. Like those
are the best fucking times when you just have no plan.
Not
dude.
A single plan. Like just went down. We were like, we gotta experience this. Like we went to Grand Central like the first night, and then met Slink, and we were like, oh, we got to get into the Alsa pool party. Like that was like the number one goal. Like, get in there or whatever. And
because that's when like the Ausla parties that like people don't remember that time. It wasn't like the pop-ups where they would like announce it and shit, and there'd be like this whole big thing. They were like fucking secret. And it's either you knew about it or you did it, and they let like 100 people in. Yeah. And it was such like a small thing. They would just pop up like crazy. And they were always the craziest parties wherever they were. They were the best ones.
So dope. Yeah. Like we ended up watching it from outside because I couldn't get in because I wasn't 21. But anyway, so it was like such a crazy week, like all these like random events popping up. That's when I met like Gesture for the first time.
It's funny you mentioned Slink. I want to tell a story about
Choppa
when you're done.
And all those guys.
I love Choppa. He's the man.
The man. But it was just such a great week, right? And then so the weekend comes, Ultra weekend's up, and we didn't have.
So this was all before Ultra.
Yeah, like the week before, like we were there for.
I forget how long Miami Music Week is. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's a week. But anyway,
I know. The part of me wants to be like, I'm just gonna cut that out, but I fucking can't, and it's gonna be in there. Continue.
But anyway, so Ultra comes up, and we really had no intentions of like going, and weren't going to spend like we spent all our money driving there and whatever.
You drove down there?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
drove
trip.
the Mustang down there. It was a good time.
That's the best time, dude.
But so I remember we had like Jake's friend at the time was like in and had like passes because she knew people, whatever it was.
Yeah,
like,
it was just one of those
so
good
we
times.
were trying the whole time to like link up. Like she was supposed to get us in, all this talk didn't happen. Like there. Couldn't get in a hold of her all day. Like it was all this nonsense.
Everyone's there for you until you're outside the venue, and then they all disappear.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. We're down there outside the venue. And I think it was, I want to say like that happened on Saturday. Because it was the same day, and it's the afternoon, and I ended up like there's scalpers outside, and like I ended up like this guy was trying to sell a ticket, and I was like, I think he said like $60-$70, something like that. Yeah. And I was like, I have 30 in my wallet. Like I can go to the bank, right? Like I just wanted to do anything to like experience Ultra.
Yeah.
And I'll even know if the ticket was real, whatever.
You were just going for it.
And so he's like, okay, fine. Like, and so we started walking towards like the bank, and we're getting like down the road, and he goes, you know what? Like I got to go. Like just give me $30 for it. And so I gave him $30 for this ticket. It worked. Like,
no way.
It worked.
You saw this show for $30?
Yeah. Well, so, but the thing is, Jake didn't get in because I don't know if it was. No, he didn't buy a ticket though. I don't know if he didn't have the money or like there was only one ticket, whatever it was. Like,
was this? Well, did you just have a conversation? You're like, okay, sick. Well, bye, Jake. And then
kind of like.
That's so fucking
funny,
and
it sucks. Like, but so I went
one of those things that like you both understood like what was about to happen.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the ticket said like I could have sworn when the guy scanned it, it said like something that I shouldn't have gotten, like not denied, but like
it had already been scanned.
But I got in, so I was like, okay, I'm in. Like I'm going. Yeah, and I don't remember if the plan was like try to come out and like give Jake the ticket and like we both go in for like, whatever it was. Like,
dude, those were the days where people don't understand. You would finagle any way to get into a show. You do anything.
At that time texting that girl still, like Jake's friend, to like figure out like trying to get Jake in. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Because you're a good friend. You're a great friend.
Trying and still couldn't figure it out. And so I was like, I'm gonna go in for like an hour, like whatever. And I went to like the main stage, checked it out. I don't even remember who I saw. It's like Nicky Romero. It was the middle of the afternoon. Just to see it. And like I went to the worldwide stage.
What time
and, like,
did you get in?
It was like maybe it was the afternoon, like 1, 2 o'clock.
You still had a good amount of time to like the festival.
Yeah, so I like went in, and then I like obviously didn't want to leave, but it was just me. I knew nobody there. Like so I just wanted to check it out. Like I wanted to experience it, see everything, because I had watched all the live streams. Like,
isn't it smaller than you think it is?
It's small.
It's so small, dude.
But at the same time, it's not. Like it's
they pack a lot of stuff into
huge. Like I remember standing because the crowd was full for main stage.
It always is.
And I must have been, I don't know, dude, 300-400 feet back, and the fire goes off, and you felt it on your face. Yeah, I'm like, how are people standing up there right now, like melting?
Dude,
like,
I was like that.
Let alone trying to get out and get like water.
I saw Deadmau5 that close at Ultra, bro. It hurt.
Yeah,
when you're that close and the fucking flames go off, it fucking like actually like, you know what? If the flames ever go off, you ever watch the live streams? They never, because you know they always try and focus on the crowd. They never focus on the people in the front row when that happens, because all of them are just like, they're like, oh no, turn it off. Shit, yeah, every single person's like that. But no, you know what that kind
of. Anyway, let me wrap it back to this just before I forget. So that all happened, and
I'm sorry, can you pass me one more seltzer while you're telling me the story?
Yeah, I ended up leaving an hour or two in. Like I got to check it all out. And
it's the other box.
Dang it. You trying to do this while talking.
You can do it.
So I came back out or whatever, and like didn't work out. And
appreciate you.
So Jake and I ended up like staying around the area for the night, and we knew like Skrillex was coming up to play, like headlining, and
this is 2015, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we went across the road from like directly behind where the main stage was. You could see it in the videos.
I'm playing.
Ben.
Dude, you're somewhere up there. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy to think about?
But we ended up, I feel like we got kicked out at one point. Like somebody came up and was like, yo, you guys can't be up here. Like, whatever. But we got to like experience that like from a distance.
Yeah.
But it was one of the most like
one of the
work
your
here
favorite.
in Miami.
You're doing it.
20
You're in the
years
moment.
old. Like
you're in the moment.
On a whim.
Young and just having fun.
So cool. And I remember after the fact, because we met up, we were staying with our friend Mike.
Yeah.
And I think it was that same night we all like went out and under the Miami Bridge just like hung out until 4 or 5 in the morning. Like,
those are my favorite concerts. You're never gonna forget that.
Yeah, no,
you're never gonna forget that.
One of the coolest like concert experiences. Like, because it all was just organic. Like, doing what you can to make it happen. I got into Ultra for $30.
That's the crazy part. If you before, like when you were on your way down, right? If somebody told you like you're only going to be in there for a little bit, right, and you're going to spend most of the time watching it on top of a parking garage, if you told you that, you'd be like, that sounds like that sucks, right? But then when you're in it and it's just happening, it's the best time of your life. It's the fucking best.
Just one of the, I don't know, that whole week in general, because all of it was based on like the few people we knew at the time in the industry and like getting in, because we went the year after, so I don't want to mix up like stories. It was networking. Like I remember, like I met so many people, like good people. And like honestly, I owe a lot of my connection and like to
that night,
those 2 weeks and 2 years in a row of like going down there and busting ass to like
absolutely
talk to whoever I could and like it's dope,
dude. That's people don't realize is that like I'm gonna give everybody the secret to the music industry. It's just networking. That's all it is. It's the 100% the secret. Whatever job you want to do, it's networking.
It really is. Like,
and sometimes you put in that work. You put in that work for those short time and those that like you just said. If you put in that work for that 2 weeks, right? And again, you got to put in work every week. But like it could just be those 2 weeks that changes all of it. You know what I mean? It's nuts.
The best part is that towards the end of that time, we were at the house we were staying at, and that's when I wrote the Deep Down Low remix. Like that inspired that whole like. Was
that like one of your more successful ones? Right?
Yeah. So like that for me, which was like my little moment of getting somewhere was that remix. And
dude,
I like to say the inspiration came from that week. So it was like a lot of
that's the best.
Yeah, it's back to the networking thing. It's hard, especially now. It's like I have a harder time extending myself to like people just because you get a little more, I don't know if it's self-conscious or no, like,
you know what I think it was?
You don't want to bother people, whatever.
I have the exact same issue. I have the exact same problem, which is like, I think the thing that made you do all of that so much more was the hunger. Was the hunger for it. And you know, you got a little bit more successful, right? And I'm not going to say it's complacency because I don't think that's what it is. We're all very hardworking people, but like you get slightly more comfortable. So, because like, all right, a lot of the things I learned, like doing my networking at like Webster Hall and Slake and all those clubs in New York and stuff, which was in the beginning, I realized I was like, oh, I was that real annoying kid. I was that annoying kid, right? And I learned how to not be that annoying kid. But I was like, the reason I was annoying that annoying kids because I had that hunger for it, that drive. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's gone. It's not, but it's just different. Like I don't want to bother people because now I'm so informed, and especially like working with artists in the time, I'm like, oh, I get the things that annoy you. You know what I mean? Because now, like with like the stage managing and stuff that I did, my whole job was to just keep artists from the stuff that like made their jobs more difficult. Right. Because another thing people don't get is most of the jobs are surrounding an artist. You know, like a manager, like a personal manager, their lawyer, tour manager stuff. It's just to make every other part of the music industry like take away from that just so they can focus on the music and all that other shit. So like the last thing I want to be is that annoying kid. You know what I mean? And that kind of stands in the way of networking. It's like this balance you got to find. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And like, we had talked about it before where it's like, you do what you got to do to like put yourself in a position like with certain things where like a lot of those things in Miami where we got like GA list, right? And then like the funny thing is like a lot of people will get in and like enjoy the pool party like for what it is, like but like we would get in and like it was like, okay, we're in here, like how do we get
you were
backstage
working. Exactly.
Like but not to be like the annoying kid in that sense of like backstage, like
it's about intention. It's about intention. You weren't trying to go backstage just so you could be that guy who was fucking partying and taking Snapchats and drink the free alcohol. You wanted to go back there because you're like, I want to earn my way back
to get emails.
Like, exactly.
That was literally the goal, was like get as many promo emails as I could. Like, how can I send you music? How can I, like,
that was the thing. I shout out Chris. He already fucking knows. There was a lot of time. He was the only one who ever like got it from the beginning, which is like anytime I went out to shows with my friends, like I would go out with like, you know, multiple friends and stuff. They all knew after a while, they're like, Gerard's just going to disappear because I'm just trying to get backstage. And it was never because, I'm trying to get back there to hang out with people and stuff like, and like Chris would always say, he'd be like, Gerard's working right now. Gerard's just trying to work. Right. You know, he's trying to just make that happen. Yeah. You know, and so, and it's hard to like, it's you trying to like work and make your dream happen and just be like a productive, useful member of that community, and just being an annoying kid who wants a picture in the beginning looks so similar. Yeah, absolutely. They look like the exact same fucking thing.
But it comes down to like how you carry yourself too. Correct. And like when you get into that, because I remember it would be like finesse your way to like, I can't think of. The Bygore one was a very specific one I can remember where like we were listed to get in and like something happened where it like didn't work, but I knew like Dr. Fresh was there like backstage and like he knew of me and like we were trying to get, I forget how we even got back. It might have even been like sneaking back there, but I remember like that's where I met Getter too, and he's
such a cool dude.
He ended up like being like, I respect, because we kind of were like talking about music and stuff, and he was like, I was like, yeah, we're just kind of like here, like and he was like, dude, like do it, like I know the hustle, like this and that, and like, dude, I remember
Blaze James was like that with me.
It's just like, because if you, I don't know, if you're not being there, like, dude, it's intention. Like this and
it's
that.
Intention.
Like, exactly. And like your professionalism,
it's
in
real
that
recognizes
like,
real. Because you're right. Like with Getter said, like, you know, he did the same shit. Right. He did the exact same shit. He was in the position you were in. Right. You know, and if you're upfront about that, like I said with Blaze James, at the time he was the label manager for Ausla. It was like the last Slake show I ever went to. It was they did a Rideware and like Ausla pop up. And it was at Slake. It was in like the lobby of Slake. Have you ever been to Slake?
Wait, I think I went to that.
We might have been there at different times. Did you go to the show or like the shop?
It was the show, but they had like a little pop up.
Yeah, beforehand.
Yeah. Well, there was still like
with Joyride and stuff.
Yeah.
You were there?
I think Slake might not be I don't remember the name of.
There was a couple of New York pop-ups,
but like it was like this tiny little room.
So there was a bar in the middle, and there were stairs to go up.
I don't remember but the concert was upstairs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It was the same. Okay. It was right before they randomly closed, and it was so sad. They closed right after Webster closed, because we're like Slake. They're like, oh, Webster closed. That's sad. And then they were like, I guess we'll go to Slake. And then they're like, hey, fuck you, we're leaving. We sold it to be apartments. We're like, right. But anyway, I'm getting off track. It was a rough time in my life. Yeah. I was losing venues left and right. But I remember because I was doing that same thing, and I hustled my way back there. And this is still one of the best flex I have of like being that sneaking backstage kid. The only reason I was back there is because I got there super early, just because I wanted to be there. I was like one of the 4 people that got there. And Blaze James was playing like a hip hop set for like 2 or 3 hours in the beginning, right? And at this point, I didn't realize who he was because he was wearing a hat. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I was allowed back, no, it was Chris Lake. It was Chris Lake right before Chris Lake got exploded, right?
The OG Ausla days.
Days. And I remember I was just wearing an Ausla shirt in all black, which most people don't realize is like 80% as effective as having a wristband. It's if you look like you're supposed to be back there, most security guards will just go, he's supposed to be back here.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, most of the time. And I'm just gonna tell the full story because it's still funny to me. And we're far enough away from it that I don't feel bad talking about it.
I remember seeing you in Ausla gear for probably before I don't know, maybe I knew you weren't like a part of Ausla, but I was always like, I pretend something.
I look like I belonged in that environment. Exactly.
It's true.
It was chameleon, dude. I figured it out.
All the people backstage, like when you get back there, it's like you don't know. You assume
you don't know who's who.
It's better to assume everybody's like something important
in case they are.
Yeah, correct. But like also it's like you could just be
some guy.
Half the time it is just a guy.
It's just a guy who got back there. Yeah,
girl
that
that's
night.
just there.
And that's the last time he's going to be backstage. Right? Exactly. But no, so I remember it was, do you remember how it was a raised, like in that it was a small room and there was a raised stage, right? In the front.
Yeah.
So they put the CDJs in front of the stage.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And I remember I sat and I just leaned up against the back of the stage. Right. And there was one security guard just fucking like eyeballing me hard, just fucking like mean dogging me. And I was like, I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah. Just play
pretend,
cool.
I'm gonna play cool. And I remember the thing that fucking switched and I was immediately allowed back there is Chris like turned to me and I can't remember who he's like, I can't remember who was playing after or like what artist. Because he was opening and he looked at me and he goes, "Oi, when's John on?" And I didn't realize. I was like, the only thing that saved me is that they printed out the lineup and then taped it to the table that the CDJs were on.
Oh,
and I was looking right on it and it was like 20 minutes from now and I was like, 20 minutes. He was like, cheers, and then just went back to DJ. And I was like, okay, cool. One thing. And then 30 seconds later, that security guard came up to me and I was like, oh fuck, this is it, I'm done. And he goes, does he need anything? Is he good? And I was like, dude, he's great. Thank you, bud. I really appreciate it. And he was like, cool, got you. And he smacked me on the back. And then I was just allowed back there for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
I was in. I was good.
You're a manager.
I was like, this guy, I'm wearing an Ausla shirt. I work for Ausla now. I now work for Ausla.
I'm a set time manager.
Correct. I'm in charge of telling people what time they need to be here.
20 minutes.
I'm not going to lie. That's half the job of a stage manager. Not even going to lie. Half the job.
That's
so I remember.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, I was. So we're fast forwarding through all the night, right? So Blaze James comes up, and now I didn't notice who it was Blaze James, but I knew who Blaze James was because I was obsessed with House, still am. And I remember he played a set, and he was right before Joyride. So Joyride starts going off, and he just sits down on the stage. Everyone else around him is losing their fucking mind. Now there's people all on the back of the stage. Right. There's people losing their minds because Joyride's here. This is right when Joyride released fucking. I can't remember which one. Was it? It's the song that goes, "Hey yo, Joyride, throw that shit in reverse." Oh, yeah. And that's like that jettisoned him, right? So it was right around that era, and that's all going on. And I remember, like everyone else is losing their mind. Everyone's taking videos, right? And I'm the only one who's like, "That's fucking Blaze James." That's Blaze James just sitting right there. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. He was just a dude who played a hip hop set in the beginning, right? And I remember I like sit down, I'm like, "Yo, real quick," because again, I very rarely fanboy over people I see. But there's sometimes where I'm like, I'm going to regret it if I don't say something. Right. And I was like, dude, I just want to say I'm like a huge fan of everything you've done. And like one day I want to like, be in a position that you're in and do the stuff that you do for like the scene or whatever. And that's all I want to say because most of the time, and it's like the rule I have, I'm not one of those guys who wants to take pictures with anybody. Yeah. Except for Skrillex, he's the only exception to that, or like Deadmau5. All I want to do is just say, hey dude, great job. I love your shit. And then shake their hand. That's it. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel like I got to, do that. And most of the time, every artist is like, dude, thanks, bro. And I just have a good interaction, right? Sometimes it works out. And he was sitting down and I was standing above him, right? He was sitting like right on the stage. And I went, dude, thank you. And I started backing away. And he goes, no. Come here. Sit down. And I was like, what? And so I sat down with him and 3 feet away from me, Joyride is throwing down the most insane set ever. Yeah. And I'm just having a real in-depth conversation with Blaze James about this. And I had one of those conversations with him. I was like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I just fucking snuck back here. And he's like, dude, that's great. He's like, that's awesome. And he just had this whole conversation. Like, it was really deep. And it's funny enough now that I'm thinking about it, like really deeply, because it's been a minute since I really deeply thought about this. This is when because I was still in college and this is when I was still going to school to be a pilot. And I had this moment, I was like, I don't want to be a pilot. I was like, that conversation was like it wasn't the main reason, but it was definitely a reason that pushed me to go, I'm going to start pursuing music as like my main thing. And it was because like the confidence he gave me, he's like, and he looked, because one of the first things he said, he's like, so you want to like do what I do, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, it's going to be fucking hard, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm aware of that. And he's like, but it's going to be like real fucking hard. He's like, I'm ready for that. And he was like, all right. And then he just gave me a whole bunch of advice, dude. Blaze James, maybe you're a fan of this show, but if you are, I owe you a lot, sir. And I appreciate you. And I hope one day to buy you a drink. And
that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
It was so great, dude. And I love moments like that because like you said, and it might just be a thing because the genre we're in is kind of like it's not a ginormous genre. We're kind of on the back burner. of most things. Maybe less so recently, but still, like, electronic music isn't like the main thing. So a lot of it's still underground and DIY ish. So like it was really nice seeing like him, and he like recognized that, you know, he had the same moment that like Getter had with you. He was like, bro, I get it. I respect the hustle that like you snuck back here. He's like, you did this the right way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you're not supposed to be back here. Correct. But you know, you didn't take advantage. I'm not in the back and wasted. But they like going up to artists, be like, bro, fucking have a picture with me. You know, I wasn't. It's one of those things where like if I haven't experienced one person other than a bouncer because it's their job. I haven't experienced one person back there that like ever was like, yo, you gotta get the fuck out of here. If I was ever just like chilling in a corner being like respectful and nice. You know what I mean? Never once has that happened because they've all been there. Right.
They get the hustle, and like exactly. Like I said, it's like you can go into a room like that. Even it's not like I snuck into so many things, but you got to do, like I said, what you got to do. But like when I get to the point of like I am the artist in the green room playing or whatever it is, and you
earned your place.
But no, but I'm saying like when I am in that place and position, like, and I see whoever in the green room, like I don't immediately assume, unless they're being that drunk, annoying person, being an like, asshole. Yeah, I'm like, oh, you're supposed to be here. Yeah, like you're cool. And most of the time, like I've had people that aren't even involved in music. They're just friends of however they're there, and like they'll talk to you, and it's like dope. Like you're a good person. I don't know. So like at the end of the day,
it's really important. Like that's there's been plenty of times where I brought some of my friends like backstage, like Billy or whatever, and I'm like, hey, number one rule. Don't be an asshole. Yeah. Be chill. Don't. It's. I forgot what I would say. It was pretty much. I was like, don't bring attention to yourself. Yeah. And like you know, just be a chill dude. Don't be a problem. Because if you're not a problem, again, we're in a world of musicians and like who are naturally chill people and like pretty heady people and just want to be happy and stuff. You know, that's why they're fucking musicians. So if you're not an asshole and you're not fucking great, you're allowed to be back here. No one gives a shit. Come hang out.
Have some of the best experience of your life.
Exactly.
But
holy shit. Yeah, we really sent it on this.
Yeah, we did.
We gotta wrap this up. Otherwise, me and him are gonna fucking talk for another 2 hours. This is good. This is good though.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. Hey, if you're still watching and you got some experience of your own you want to share in the comments,
throw it in the comments, baby.
We got to get this comment section popping. So,
yeah, for real. Like honestly, our comment section is like an opening show for a genre nobody likes. We need this. Come on, help us out. We need this.
So help if you got an experience that. Good one, bad one, something that change your life, put it on there. But
all right. Guys, we love you.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode.
We appreciate you.
Catch you next time.
Peace.
Peace.